You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast. Yo. Welcome to the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, where we are here to strive to amplify the voice of the modern black man. Yes, my name is Var. We got KV here. We got Cleveland here. We got Zoe here. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
What up? What up?
Zoe, what's going on in your world, brother?
Nothing much, man. I actually had an interesting week. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling, blessed. I actually had my nephew's graduation yesterday. He's going to ninth grade.
I peeped.
Yeah, so now I could officially punch him in the stomach if he get out of line.
He looking like a young French Montana.
Yo, word up, man. All the wild hair and everything. Except his hairline's a little closer than French's,
Yeah, facts.
And then I just left. Shout out to our chapter brother Irv, who turned 30 today.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Irv.
Shout out to Irv,
Big brother Poseidon. Big brother Poseidon.
My Neo turned 30, so that's really it, man. Other than that, it's been a quiet week. So,
KV, how you feeling? What's going on in your world?
Feel real good. Actually, traveled today, so I'm in here in Miami for a few days, and just kind of came out here to check out some family. But other than that, everything's been going great, man. I think I've just kind of been trying to absorb the energy that's around me in terms of just society, the culture, the people. And funny thing I saw this week, actually, I saw AKA Karen crying because somebody followed her after she flicked somebody off.
Oh, no, that video is wild, son.
I haven't seen it, yo.
Oh my God, bro.
The highlights.
Yeah, I thought that was just hilarious, man. I thought to myself, the moment is just as the world is turning and guilt is kind of penetrating the souls and spirits of people, this is the type of reaction we're going to be familiarized over time, right? So I just thought that was kind of funny, and I appreciate our people finding light in these experiences and these moments, you know what I'm saying? Because we need that.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of one of the things I saw. That was kind of cool.
Just to add on to what Kev was saying, so for context, there is a video of a guy driving, and the video starts with this woman trying to pull into her driveway of her apartment complex, and the dude is recording her why did you do that? And she has a fucking meltdown. She goes into full she just melts, and all of a sudden the dude is like, well, you're going to be famous, and she's like, no, don't let my daughter see this. I have a black husband. And it's all right. And then she goes to cover her license plate 4 years too late. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, shorty. And on top of that, the part that made me a little here we go, is she was super loud. She had the white tears going, but a white gentleman came to her aid and was like, she's going through a lot. And the dude is like, what she did was she cut me off on the freeway, she flicked me off, and she called me a nigger. And all he did was follow her and told her she's not getting away with this. He didn't put hands on her. He kept his social distancing and everything. And she's been through a lot. It's like, bro,
I'm black. Ain't you been watching the news? We've been what's wrong with you?
Right. So for her to wild out like that was it was kind of gratifying. I like seeing these videos. There's a Karen going wild Instagram page.
Oh, I gotta see that.
Karen going wild.
Karen going wild, man.
Yeah.
Yo, it sucks for the good ones named Karen. They probably hate
if your name is Karen,
get the good ones. If you black and you name Karen, you going through it.
Yo, my wife worked with a girl named Karen. She mad cool. She be tight all the time. See, this is what I'm
why they have to be Karen?
She's not even white. That's the funny part. She's Spanish.
I like how we upgraded from Becky to Karen. That's the 2020.
I don't even know if we upgraded. I think Becky's has a place.
Just an age bracket. It's an age bracket.
I think Becky is still around, but Becky is
15 to 22.
Becky has her place. Karen, on the other hand, Karen is I am middle-aged and I am peeved
Mhm.
Karens are peeved. I don't know if Becky's can be peeved or not. So,
And I need to know where the manager is.
Oh yeah, that's Karen for sure.
That's
Where's-
Karen for sure.
Where's your manager? Cleveland, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. This week has been good. It's been busy. I've been working a lot, but it's been a good week, man. Like listening to some good music. Wale's joint.
I still ain't. I gotta get to it.
Please
Is that
listen to it.
What's the album name again? If you remember,
Imperfect Storm, I think. Let me see. Imperfect
I haven't
Storm.
heard it.
It's,
No,
it's only like 6 songs. Yo, he's dropping gems, and I appreciate that people are making music like based on the times, and they're just releasing it.
Yes,
you know, Lil
Baby's joint.
Relevant.
Have y'all heard it?
I haven't heard his joint.
Oh my god,
I heard
bro.
Trey Songz. Did you hear Trey Songz?
Yo,
He
nothing.
went to church.
Meek Mill's joint's fire.
Yep.
Trey Songz joint's fire. But the two standouts of this time is Lil Baby and her. Hers, man.
Yeah,
look,
that joint is heavy. It's heavy.
Her is it's called I Can't Breathe. Man,
I Can't Breathe. Yeah. The poem at the end.
She stayed like spitting bars. I'm like, yo, who writes your shit? Not because she can't, but she's like wise beyond her years.
Yeah. Who came across my radar recently was Tiana Taylor. Her most recent joint.
Yeah.
Y'all heard of
I just kind of started. I haven't finished it out, but it sounds good so far.
She got some good features on there, like Erykah Badu and
Lauren
Missy,
Hill.
right? And Lauren Hill?
Yeah, Lauren Hill is on the outro. I'm sorry, Miss Lauren Hill. I think Lauren Hill.
That's right.
I think they own Lauren Hill, the name.
Yo, what's the one with Killer Mike on there? I heard too on the radio.
Run the Jewels 4.
Run the Jewels.
That joint, the 4, because I think they have several of them. The 4, the latest one.
Cleveland, I knew you would like it because I feel like Run the Jewels is for like black kids that went to church, but they like rap too.
Yeah.
I feel like
that Ooh La La joint.
Don't let that heathen come for you, yo.
I don't like how y'all talk to me every Father's Day, but that's another story for another day.
Yo, that is another story.
I don't like how y'all talk to me every Father's Day.
In bar bashing on Father's Day. I don't know. I see it.
I be trying to let you in,
bar bashing.
I think how that's sensitive.
I don't like how y'all talk to me. I just don't understand.
It's acknowledgement. It's not bashing, right? No.
I think we should move on. Let me tell you about my week first of all, because I don't like where this is going.
Listen, bro.
Let me steer the ship a little bit.
Right, quick
or left. My week was cool. So Shorty and I we stepped out the house and we went to Oakland, which was absurd on Juneteenth. Oakland is obviously it's historically like black town, right. So Juneteenth is a real big deal. We went to Lake Merritt on Juneteenth, which is a very congregated area for black folks. It's where people just chill and kick it at. So we masked up, and I have a few friends that were over there, and just take a wild guess where they were. You guessed it, where all the niggas are. Where all the niggas are. It's like, bro, y'all couldn't duck off. Y'all wanted to be with everybody. So me and Shorty seen that they was there. We was like, all right, I came, I saw, and I left. I'm like, we're not staying at fucking ground zero of COVID. I'm out this bitch. But on the flip side, it was great to see a lot of Black pride, a lot of Pan-African flags, like a lot of energy. Yep, exactly what Zoe was showing. It was a lot of red, black, and green. So I definitely appreciated the outpouring of like just blackness. It was just oozing black shit. So that was pretty dope.
It's a great time to be black, man.
It is. It is. You know,
it is, man.
It's crazy how like it came from such a deep and sad series of situations, but like it never makes you not want to be black. It only encourages you to be more black. Like I just want to be extra black for no reason now.
Sure.
Oh, you are
extra.
Hey, listen, it's gold now, baby.
It is. Yo, we was having a conversation. I don't know who I was having this I was having a convo with my boy, one of my boys from out here in Cali, and we was talking about how when you're younger and you brown and you dark skin, like it is the worst.
It was
but
the
like
worst.
the older you get, the more it's like, oh,
this shit is working here.
This is fire.
There's something working right here.
It's like, so y'all gonna abuse me my whole adolescence, and then when I become a man, that's when you want me. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, man. Those teenage years those teenage and middle school years were interesting. You had to be a special kind of person in the skin of somebody with melanin popping to endure all the attacks. You know, like
tar babies.
It was interesting, man.
African booty scratchers. Zoe was closing his eyes because he was the one spewing this hate.
No, this is not true. Never called anybody a tar baby or an African booty scratcher. I might have compared you to a grape Jolly Rancher, but
my mind, Zoe is the darkest light-skinned guy I know, bro. Like,
you don't act light-skinned at all.
Yeah, hell no.
That's the acting light skin conversation is a whole nother situation.
Episode 5.
Facts. And coming off the admiration of the black women, we can't get divisive too quick.
No, let's not do that. But
before we get into our first topic, which is is a good synergy here, I want to hear if y'all heard any feedback from our episode that were dedicated to black women. Anybody hear anything that was like, oh, that was cool?
Yeah, so my wife really enjoyed it. She listened to it. She liked the whole concept of where we were going with it, like just letting black women know that we support them and we protect them. So something you said earlier, I was like, it triggered something for me because the way that white man came up and was like, hey, Karen's having a hard day. Yeah. Like, yo, we got to be more like that. You know what I'm saying? Like in similar situations, you know what I mean? Like we see somebody struggling. It's like, yo, let me step up and just make sure this is okay, as opposed to just minding our own business. Because in black culture, it's not that we don't want to say something. We just don't want to be caught up in the whirlwind, so to speak,
And we know us.
Right.
So I think we can stop there. We know us. So we like,
exactly.
Let me just mind my business. I don't know these people's business.
I don't know what's going on over there. I'm gonna just chill.
I don't know what's going on.
I talked to my sister, being that I used some of her points and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she liked it. She said it was cool. I had to let her know ahead of time, like I couldn't get all your points because it ain't about you. But I had to use, some of the stuff. And she said, no, she said everything was cool. I hit the nail on the head with some, like, just passing the messages and some of the conversations that she was having.
Right.
And, she definitely feels that we have to do better. And she's glad that we're acknowledging it, because that's the first step is, what they say, first step in resolving the problem is admitting you have one. So
right. Exactly.
Yep. And also, shout out to Morgan. I'm so proud of Morgan. She going to law school and shit, man.
Shout out.
You're on the team, yo. We need a lawyer.
Grinding. She's been grinding for a long time.
Look at, I'm really happy for Morgan. We really seen her like as a child, son. It's insanity. It is.
Yo,
insanity.
When Cleveland met Morgan, she was 6 or 7. She had just turned 7, and by the time Laura met her, she was 8. Like a year later,
right?
Like,
yeah. So
it was crazy. Like
your mom couldn't even get her to sit in the chair for dinner. Like she was on the floor playing with SpongeBob. And I was like,
well, that also tells you how old SpongeBob is.
Yo,
you've been around.
I don't even know. I don't even know why he's still hanging around kids. To keep it real, we should probably monitor that.
SpongeBob is sketchy, yo.
Yo, once again, that's a whole other episode. I don't know what SpongeBob got going on.
Him and Patrick is closer than most, man.
I don't know what him and Pat be doing, fam. I don't know.
There's something else going on.
That's kind of hilarious. One thing though, although I didn't get too much feedback in terms of like our last episode, one thing that I did take away from it was I've been a lot more intentional about just saying hello to people, and maybe more women, maybe more black women, more black people in general. But when I'm passing by you, I'm gonna say hello. How you doing? Like I'm gonna like acknowledge your presence. I'm not gonna like not look at you. Like I even look for you to look at me, and I'm like looking at you.
I'm about to say you know what the like.
Like you see me, right? I see you, right?
Yeah.
And what goes through my mind is I just made that person's day because I got them to acknowledge that they're good today.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that kind of made me feel like we're moving in the right direction. So although I didn't get good feedback, but those are things I just took away from last week's episode.
I like that. And when I moved to California, I think it was the first time that I kind of realized that there's the universal head nod wherever you are, right? And it's not just black men. It's like black people, you give them it's like I see you, I acknowledge you, you know.
Yeah, for those who are listening, VAR did the upward nod, not the downward.
Not the downward.
Right.
Downward nod is the nod.
Yeah.
Upward nod is the joint.
The upward nod is like, you're. The downward nod is like, hello, good day.
Exactly. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. The feedback that I got from the episode dedicated to Black women there was two themes. No, I got the same theme from like 2 or 3 people, which was it took us so fucking long to say the word ego. It took us so long to just be like, yes.
Oh, they was waiting for that one.
They was waiting. They was like on the edge, like, are they going to say it? Are they going to say it? It's like we pull into the driveway and like, nah, I gotta go back to the store. Like we weren't really ready to like go into the ego part. But another piece of feedback that I heard is that how important it was for 5 Black men to have this conversation on air. And once again, things we don't think are vulnerable, they articulated as like being vulnerable. And I'm like, okay, all right. We're just sharing our truth though.
Exactly. Did it make you want to, for me, like, I felt like, man, I want to understand more. Like, what have I been overlooking that I just been kind of like shooing away because it doesn't happen in my circle? Right. Like, so like I've been intentional about like, even on Instagram, like listening to people, like, I think her last name is, I want to pronounce it correctly, Tamika Mallory.
Yeah. She's been a beast, though. She's a
beast. Her, Angela Fry.
I'm
going to miss
Tamika Mallory. Tamika Mallory got a whole crew called Justice League, and they it's another rapper. Her name is My Son.
My Son.
They don't play, bro. They on the front lines each and every time. But no, go ahead about Tamika Mallory.
No, I was just saying, like, I just wanted to like be more intentional about following Black women who are doing major things for the culture, like be it Tamika Mallory, be it music, and then also what's really been weighing on me is like, yo, we can't let this Breonna Taylor thing like die either, because it's like everything happened. There's been one person fired, like everybody else is on administrative leave. Nobody's really been arrested, so you know what I mean? I just want to be more intentional about like saying the names of those who are
for sure
heroes, really.
With that being said, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. Justice for Breonna Taylor. We got to make sure we amplify her voice. Make sure we amplify the voice of all of those who we've lost to police violence and general violence at this time. People who are incarcerated unfairly, unjustly. We're looking to make sure that we kind of put the pressure on the folks that are the powers that be, to kind of make sure that we continue to do that. Now, I know we were speaking about people like Tamika Mallory and people who are on the front lines. I want to start with this, which is going to transition us into our next segment. I'm going to play this sound clip for us, and I just want us to tell me how you feel.
To me, man, when you're talking about Kyrie Irving, listen, Greeny, if you take Kyrie Irving brain and put it in a bird right now, guess what that bird is going to do? It's going to fly backwards because Kyrie...
Whoa.
Enough said. Drop one of Cool's bombs right there, boy. Sheesh.
Before we even move on, right?
Yeah, tell me how you really
before we jump, if you take somebody's brain and you tell somebody that's not going to operate in what it's supposed to operate, is that a shot?
Bro, is it a shot? Not only will it not operate, but if it does operate, it's going backwards. Bro. Okay. All right. So for all those who are in the dark, that was Kendrick Perkins in regards to Kyrie Irving's leadership and his direction in terms of the NBA restarting. Kyrie wants to have the NBA players sit out and to make more of an impact by their absence because he thinks basketball would be a distraction. That propelled that incident propelled Kevin Durant to come to Kyrie's aid, and then KD called Kendrick Perkins a sellout. Right. So drawing the comparison to the Tamika Mallory's who were on the front lines to Kendrick Perkins, who was called a sellout, the spectrum of blackness is wild, but like, what do you make of this Kyrie, KD, and Kendrick Perkins hodgepodge?
Yo, so I think the point, I hate speaking for another man, it seems like the point that Kendrick Perkins was trying to make was Kyrie flip-flop. He went from saying like, oh, let's play, and being the vice president of the Players Association,
right.
But then saying, well, let's sit out. My thing is like, I don't think that makes somebody like a Birdbrain, so to speak, or any less impactful as a leader. I think have you ever had a moment where you just like realize who you are? Like, I felt like that's what happened with Kyrie. He was like, we sitting here trying to figure out how to play during COVID when all of this is going on. Like, I'm me, I'm Kyrie, you're LeBron, you're KD. If we don't play, ain't nobody watching, and it brings more attention to it. So I don't know if he was being like two-faced for real. I think he just kind of like came to himself, was like, man, we could really make an impact if we didn't play. I don't think
and before we continue, let me play Kendrick Perkins' response to him being called a sellout, because I think that's also important to highlight as well.
An hour and a half long with Danny Ainge. So don't tell me nothing about being a sellout, because that ain't even for me and you, brother. Because you know what? Let me remind you something. The same sellout that's sitting right here, I remember this day like it was yesterday. May 8th, 2011, Mother's Day. You and I, Memphis, Tennessee, going through personal problems. And guess what? You came to my room.
Pause.
We vented. We cried together.
Yep.
We cried some more, vented some more. We didn't leave that room until we confined in each other. And we left out of there and was like, you know what? We're glad we had each other to lean on.
For the record, for all those who can't see, Kendrick got that white shit on his lip where you know he's serious and like
he's dry.
Remember the difference between a Becky and a Karen. Karens get peeved. Kendrick Perkins was peeved. He had enough.
But ain't nobody gonna offer him no water? Like, I know you heard.
Well, he at home. He at the studio.
You don't even gotta ask nobody. Like, so you should have a water bottle right there, bro.
So for Kendrick Perkins to speak about another basketball player when he has a platform, he disagrees with Kyrie. Does that make him a quote unquote sellout?
No. So look, here's the thing, right? First of all, with Kyrie, I think the whole Birdbrain thing, also, I don't think it was just that specific topic. I think the whole flat earth thing, all that stuff probably contributed to KP saying that comment. I don't think it's a good comment. I think that's something that should be like I said before, it's like saying the N-word around white people. Like, you're not supposed to say certain things around mixed company. Like,
he's Stephen A. Smithin.
Yeah. Barbershop talk ain't supposed to be like, even Shannon Sharp, like, but that's barbershop talk. Like, I tell you, like, he only go bust so far with Skip, right? So like
Skip.
So I think that probably contributed to him saying that. It was everything. I don't think it was just that one comment. It just so happened like that's the one that he commented on. But the problem that all these players have, it's almost like policing that blue wall of silence. Like, because you play, you're not like, that's Charles Barkley's biggest problem. You got people like Draymond Green, everybody coming at Barkley like, yo, bro, I was an MVP in Olympia. I got way more credentials. You have a ring and wasn't the leader on your team. I could say what I want to say, bro. Like, you know how many legends don't have rings? Like, relax. That's when he hit him with that triple single. But that's another story for another time. But that's my point. It's like, yo, I don't think it's a sellout. I think it's a sellout if you exposing person.
Zoe's in a race for MVP today.
I think Zoe, you are. I think the fans are voting very favorably And I think it put you over the edge with the triple single. I forgot about the triple single. That shit was hilarious.
I'm lost with the triple single.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you, Cleveland. I'm gonna send it to you. It's hilarious.
Basically, Chuck told Draymond that he can't talk because he had a triple single. You know, triple double was like 10, 10, and 10 at least.
Oh, he had a triple single, like 1-1. Yo, and the funniest part ain't even what he said. It's Shaq's reaction because Shaq was hollering. He did the lean back in the chair and everything laugh. Like, you like, oh shit. Shaq was like, oh my God. But yeah, you know.
But Chuck also be on some bullshit. Like Chuck got clout, but Chuck be saying some wild shit. Chuck be MAGA sometimes. He be having those MAGA quotes. It's like, bro.
Yeah, he be tripping.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Shaq's had some moments too, though, where I didn't really agree with what Shaq said.
I feel you because I think Shaq and Chuck were on the same side in terms of like the riots, you know, and
Drew Brees.
Right. I didn't agree with that. But also Shaq was like, he just spoke to the Saints like the day before. So he was like in cahoots. So but Shaq also builds like stories and buildings in Newark. So like he put his money where his mouth is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Chuck, on the other hand, it's like, bro.
Oh, did you ever see Charles Barkley documentary where he went like to the whole civil rights and visit all the racist people and stuff like that?
It was a show. It was a show, right?
Yeah, it was like a couple, like 2 or 3 episodes. It was pretty good. You should watch it. Like, you gotta think, Chuck ain't completely like that. It's just, I think he has the old school mentality where it's like, don't say too much because I want to stay alive. You gotta remember, that man from Alabama, bro.
Alonzo, he's also the person that said in a campaign, I'm not a role model. Like,
he don't feel like that. He felt like he didn't want that responsibility. He also said he ate white people and his wife was white.
True, but I don't think that Chuck is afraid to say things that are controversial.
True.
Nah, negative at all.
But
that goes back to what we were saying. That I think he's not a sellout. I don't think. First of all, Kevin Durant should not call nobody a sellout after how he did the Thunder with the 3-1 lead and left. You can't say those words, period. You cannot say the words sell out, sold, left me, none of that. You can't say
sale, merch, clothes.
None of that. You can't say none of that.
Anything that is up for sale, up for grabs, KD can't say.
Yeah, you can't. Because it's messed up. But I think that's what really got me. I would understand him more, but sometimes it's where the messenger versus the message gets a little misconstrued.
Yeah. Well, how you feel about it, Kev?
I agree with Cleveland saying that Kyrie had a moment, but I also think about his impact and how he could have changed, and from his perspective, how he wanted to change.
Kyrie's impact.
Yeah, because he kind of had he came from a position of, all right, I'm gonna take it from the top real quick, but Kyrie had a moment where it was just like, yo, I could be part of the change. This is our moment now. This is how we can change. I'm just going to sit out and play. But the issue is that Kyrie wasn't going to play anyway. So it was like, you know what I mean? So the thing for Kendrick was, you're not really sacrificing what you're asking everyone else to sacrifice for it because you're already technically bubbled, right? So what are you saying, bro? It's like saying, yo, let's go fight. I ain't going to go fight with y'all. I'm going to be here watching. But, I can't go out and fight, so therefore I'm not going to play, and then therefore you guys shouldn't play either. And everyone's like, well, bruh, you were going to be on the bench, like regardless, right?
But they said he couldn't come or something. I think that's when he changed his mind. They say he couldn't go down to the bubble with him. Like, if you're not, you can't
exactly.
Well, to keep it real, I think the issue is the KKK. Walk with me.
I was about to say, where you going here?
I think about the wrong K. We talking
This is a division. This is the black man division. If you look at the science, Kendrick, Kevin, Kyrie, they've been working on us.
Although Kyrie is the VP of the Players Association, he probably should have leveraged his platform a little differently. And I agree with Kendrick from that perspective. But Kendrick has to understand, as an analyst, you hold certain privilege to information as a former player that a lot of analysts don't have. So you got to be very wary about how you express yourself and how you talk about your former teammates, because my man, you were once in our positions too, right?
Yes, so he has perspective.
If anything, very much so. So if anything, you should be highlighting the perspective from a former player, not from an analyst. You know what I'm saying? So KD took the shot at him, calling him a sellout, because regardless if he was going to play or not, that wasn't for everyone to know. Really, that was a sellout part. It was like, bruh, like, did you really need to go there? Like, ultimately, you're diverging from the ultimate goal, which is change, right? Racial change, social change. Right. And regardless how we were going to get there, you kind of took away that momentum by highlighting that or discrediting Kyrie, what he was trying to accomplish by saying you need to figure it out. Although, AKA, if your brain wasn't a bird, then the bird be going backwards.
That was a lot.
But no, it was. I think he definitely. Kev, you made a good point. I don't know if Zoe know, but you're gaining on him for the MVP ball tonight. I think what Kendrick did was he went a step too far. He didn't. He got too comfortable with his buddies up at the studio and forgot where he came from. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I also just want to make sure that y'all. So my KKK joke was trash, or y'all moved past. Y'all moved past that kind of quick.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had.
I was trying to piece it together. I was like,
At first I was like, what? At first, I thought you was about to say next, right? You was about to be like, what is this? This is a white page with black words. Is it me or is it a conspiracy?
My brother.
Like, no, I think it's you.
Yeah, it definitely was me. But getting back to Kendrick Perkins, where do you so Kevin Durant stepped in to defend his teammate, right? With all things considered, with clearly Kendrick Perkins told us they cried together, but also the Kyrie being his current teammate, where do you leverage your loyalty in that situation if you're KD? Given his stature, he's one of the best players in the world. He has a big platform, and he chose to use it on a former teammate who he cried with and called him basically a coon. Like, how do you?
You gotta let two men handle their differences on their own. Like, in my opinion, like because he has relationship with both of them. I can see if he didn't have a relationship with both of them, but Kendrick came out and just let it all out. Like, yo, this is like my man for real. Like, we cried together. He ate my wife's oxtails and that's what he like.
That don't sound right, bro.
I'm about to say, nah, that's some Kevin Durant shit. I mean, Kevin Garnett shit.
So like, you gotta let two men hash it out. And then, like, here's my thing too. Like, with the sellout comment, he used a phrase that like paints a different picture of Kendrick Perkins. It's one thing to say you sold out because you're going against other players and using your privilege.
Right.
But when you're saying privilege, a sellout in this climate, it paints a whole different picture of Kendrick Perkins.
Especially this climate.
Exactly. So it's like sell out, like Uncle Tom sell out, not sell out and like, oh, you just get too much. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, I just agreed. I that's the thing. Like, the thing about it is, what is the moment we're trying to conquer? We're trying to conquer change, right?
Yes.
And that was a strategy. Was, hey, y'all, we're gonna set out so we can affect change. And then as a Kendrick Perkins analyst, when you go against that grain, you're going against the plan. You're going against the change. You forget basketball right now. Forget whatever issues you have. Let's talk about you being a black man as an analyst, understanding what we're trying to accomplish, and you diverge from that idea because of your 2 cents. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong, but he didn't think about the ultimate big picture. He was thinking about his position, his analytical position as a player, and how he can, from a basketball perspective, you're not being a team player. But he wasn't thinking about the overall big picture. Big picture is we're all trying to overcome change, and Kendrick missed that.
And I think Kevin also missed an opportunity to be a bridge versus like, he didn't build the bridge, he burnt the bridge. What he did in this climate by calling, he didn't, like, to Cleveland's point, he didn't say he sold out. He called him a sellout. That's major. It's like, that's on you. That ain't what you do. That is
who you are, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you in a country club.
I think that's one of those comments where it's like you deflecting what you really are. You know what I mean? Because KD always got an issue about you done left 2 teams. You feel all type of way. Like, I just think that he should have, like Cleveland said, mind his business, fall back, call everybody, get on the phone. Y'all got each other number, and make Kendrick Perkins go apologize. You know what I mean? If that's the case, but you don't have to defend him. Cause y'all not talking about teammate stuff. Like, it's not like he's saying, yo, y'all record is trash, y'all this. Exactly. Then you step in like, hold on, that's my team. I'm on the team. I'm playing, so we not trash. You know what I mean? That's where I would understand more of a defense mechanism for your teammate. But, bro, just give your own personal. I disagree or whatever. And that goes back to me keeping it in-house. If we all in-house, we all know each other, we shouldn't. It almost, KD almost contradicted what his goal was too, because now you just
right. But I also have to ask you one question, Alonzo. I just want to make sure that you aren't holding any resentment towards Kyrie or KD for not coming to the Knicks, because I know you were hurt when that happened. I can see it on your face right now. You don't like it.
I actually don't think about it. I don't think about it. I was more hurt with LeBron because he did the whole spectacular, like, the decision.
Yo, and remember when they had the Photoshop jerseys on LeBron, and like, it actually, this was before Photoshop was everywhere. It was like, damn, we kind of do look good in that Knicks uniform.
Yeah, I can see that Knicks jersey. Son,
they did the same thing with They had KD and KP next to each other in the Knicks, and neither one of them niggas on the Knicks. Like, trust me, I don't hold that against them, right? It's hard to play for the Knicks right now. Trust me, I understand that as a business.
That could have been a whole episode. We didn't cultivate 4 episodes in this episode alone because your boy Dolan is big wildin'.
Oh yeah, we can get to that one. We can. I could definitely host that one myself.
Yeah, right? You can. That could be definitely yours. We just on the sidelines, like, yep, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's bugging.
But before we wrap up this topic, when you are called something like a sellout, is that recoverable? Can you recover from that? Like, can you make amends? Could Perkins make amends with KD, or it's like, nah, fam?
I mean, I think that I think that KD is not wilding. You know, I don't think that he was wilding for his comment, because you got to think about it now. He's a Brooklyn Net, and that's his guy.
Sounds crazy.
KD's he does what KD does well. He plays the position according to his current circumstance, right? So when he's a Thunder, it's F everybody else, let's go Thunders. When he's Golden State, it's F everybody else, let's go Golden State. And like, you know, he does that type well. Like, he pretty much goes into these industry, like these different teams, and just represents who he's playing for at that moment.
He's a chameleon.
Yeah, I don't think he's wrong for like standing up. I think KD and Kendrick also had their issues beforehand. You know, they also had their like going back and forth when Kendrick made that comment about Russ being the greatest Thunder of all time, and KD took that personally, right? So they've been going back and forth for some time. This kind of was like the icing on the cake.
But I low key feel like, yo, that's a good point, Kev. Going back to when Kendrick Perkins called Russell Westbrook the greatest Thunder player ever, I think that's his opinion. KD took offense to that. KD stepped outside of himself to have words for Perkins at that point. They had issues then. They didn't talk about oxtails and macaroni and cheese at that time, but they definitely had their issues. Now, this time, it almost seems like KD is looking to take shots at Perkins. Perkins ain't playing no more, right? He don't got to see him. Perkins was the enforcer for KD, as Kev's man Skip Bayless said. Right, he was his bodyguard. So I feel like the weaknesses. And because KD is so sensitive, he just be flipping off the handle. And I feel like he has a vendetta against Perkins, because to me, sellout is like wild. Like,
that's a harsh term right now, man. It's a harsh term. I think where everybody kind of went left is like Kendrick Perkins. First of all, he went personal with the Kyrie jab. It wasn't just like, I don't agree with him. It was like, oh, he's a Birdbrain. Like, that was a little bit.
That was an uppercut.
Right, exactly. And then, like, KD steps in and then calls him a sellout, which is another kind of like personal like assessment of somebody's character. Like to me, like that's not what we need right now. Like, all right, so if I disagree with someone's method, that doesn't mean I'm against what they're against. Like, I don't think Kendrick or Kyrie or KD are against the cause. They just don't agree with the same methodology. But like to start throwing low blows, that's not what we need right now.
It's not. No name calling is needed. Yeah. No name calling is needed. Like, I don't know, man. I personally don't know.
Think I did forget about that part. I'm glad y'all brought that up. That when he did say you was the that Westbrook was the best Thunder, that probably stuck with him because he like, yo, how you gonna say that, bro? You played with me. Like, what you mean? Like, that's like one of us saying that somebody like is
like the boy A. Gales was the best basketball player on the squad.
Oh, that's a little extreme.
Okay.
That's like saying somebody like A. Gales is more like Cephalosha, like not nobody like, you know what I mean, like, or what's my man? The man he actually looked like. What's my man Jackson who got traded?
Oh, Reggie Jackson. Yeah, that's wild.
That's a little bit much. But
that's wild.
It's like, all right, so me, you, and Kev always played 3-on-3s, everything else, right? And if we know everyone's strength and weaknesses, all three of us, and it's like if Kev said, well, Zoe's the best shooter on the 3-on-3, and I'm like, I'll take the compliment, but I know I'm not the best shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like we could see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, how you gonna say that, bro? And like, I was with you when I hit the 10 threes. So like, how you going? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's
right.
KD got it personal. Like, yo, you was half the reason. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true. So, I mean, that same thing could be said. This is also a whole other podcast. When Paul Pierce left LeBron off his top 5.
Oh yeah.
It's like I killed you too many nights for you to leave me off your top 5, nigga.
That's I ended your dynasty, bro.
For sure. That's crazy. But also, before we wrap this topic up, this is one point that I forgot. KD be real hurt because he posted the videos of Kendrick Perkins airballing. That's what I'm saying.
They get petty, yo. He's super petty.
You know, lie though, KD is the most pettiest person I know. That I don't know.
Bro.
Petty wop, yo.
Like, hey, not only did you call me a sellout this time, but you posted my lowlights.
Remember when he reacted the first time when he made that comment about Russ being the greatest. He said, meanwhile, you had a whopping 3 points. Like, he had to add that in. Like, he was like, here you go. But meanwhile,
it's like, yo, is that needed?
But, you know, and I also think, too, though, KD's also very, he's competitive. And you know, I could pick up energy pretty well from afar. So I think he's, like, sarcastic in a way. I think he said that, but obviously he's a starter, right? So Kendrick is significant, although he had 3 points. He's still a significant person.
Right.
How he brings that significance to the table. But it was just like adding the fuel to the competitiveness of that space, right? And I think it wasn't intentionally trying to hurt him. It was just trying to like add fuel to the conversation of the fire.
But here's another perspective, Kev, I have for you. Let's take this, let's strip it all away. Let's say that you are Kevin. You know what? You're not Kevin because you're married. You are Tyler, right? Tyler had an ex whose name was Jamie, right? Tyler and Jamie was rocking. It was good to go. Then Tyler and Jamie break up, and now he's on his way to his new girlfriend. And if every time he takes a shot at his old girlfriend, is that petty or is that competitive? Because he's still taking shots. I feel like if somebody did this in like outside the real world, it wouldn't be competitive. It would be like, oh, you hurt, like relax, you hurt, get over it.
But the thing is that like the ex is the one that is engaging first. It's not like he's coming out of nowhere and attacking the ex. It's like he's playing defense, but his offense on defense is a lot better in that transition than what you brought to the table, right? So it's like
Tyler Petty's better.
It is. It is.
I'm gonna go deeper. I think. I think that with KD, when it comes to that whole Thunder and everything else, I think it's an insecurity, and that's why he lashes out, because he knows it was a unanimous decision amongst not just the media, amongst players. You had player after player that was on TV that retired. They all say, "Yo, it was a weak move. It was a weak move. It was a weak move." So I think every time something in that whole arena comes up, that's why he goes so hard to try to shoot you down. It's like a deflect or defense mechanism, because he hasn't really gotten over or accepted the fact that he made the weakest move in NBA history.
That's another segment.
Yeah, yeah, like that's wild.
It is a weak move, but
it is
a professional, personal move that we as people have to respect for the idea of the individuality of the player. But overall, accustomed to watching players stick it out, stay on the same organization. We've seen that, but then we start seeing the transition on how players just start moving around, getting rings in different places, and that just became a culture within itself. So it's a thing, man. It's a preferable thing, and I think we have to find light of that, and we have to talk about that at one point. I'm interested in hearing that coming to like a universal place for us to really like embark on that.
So yeah, Kev, that's a good point. So I think if we're summarizing this section is that KD was hurt. KD came to his boy's aid, but he shot his other boy in the process. I don't think he was a sellout, but it is what it is. Also, this past weekend we had Father's Day, so I also wanted to wish the fathers on this podcast Happy Father's Day to Cleveland and Alonzo.
Yes, thank you.
Thank y'all for being the amazing Black fathers that y'all are. Y'all are pillars in the community. Y'all are role models. Y'all been doing this for some time, and people can learn a lot from y'all. With that said, were there any special plans this weekend for y'all on Father's Day?
Well, we had a crab fest. Sorry, Var, I know you're allergic.
Oh shit.
We had like a crab fest over at Mom's crib. Mom's, my grandfather, who's now 91. Pops.
Lucky.
Yeah, we had the Hendies come through, and it was cool. Like, I mean, we had some other friends, some renders. We had some folks. Var Boy came out. Les Trent.
Oh, Les Trent.
Yeah. He came through. So we gotta give him some context.
So Les is a family friend of Alonzo's parents, but like we always felt like his name is like an action verb, like Les Trent, like let's go to the store. No. Les Trent.
Les Trent. Like if you say it fast. But by the way, shout out to him because he's actually a reporter on Insider Dishes, so he's kind of an important person.
He is. But Trent, go ahead.
We just did that. We chilled. We had a little fun. Got in the pool. Enjoyed the weather, and I just like relaxing on Father's Day because every day is so busy. So.
Right.
Yeah. How about you, Cleveland?
Oh man, Father's Day was great for me. I literally did not do anything at all. My wife and my daughter, they made me breakfast. I had breakfast. They made me dinner. I literally didn't do anything besides binge watch Luther, which I have already seen, but I just watched it all over again. So it was cool, man. I got a good gift. It was definitely a Father's Day style gift. It's like a little barbecue kit, like a barbecue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm into it though. So
it
was dope. It was dope, man.
But are you into it because you're used to Father's Day gifts, or was it fire in general?
Maybe I'm new to Father's Day gifts. Like y'all know my story. Like I've been by myself every Father's Day for 10 years. So 3 years ago when I met my wife, she makes a big deal out of Father's Day now. But yeah, leading up to that, I didn't get much. Amaya would just draw me a picture on a piece of paper. And I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? So like
macaroni tie.
Why is that? Kev, I don't know if you wanted to share. Did you link up with your dad, or you hit your dad up for Father's Day?
Yeah, actually I tried. I went to go visit, cook, grill, brought food. Like we're in an interesting place now, man, that like I've transitioned out of my different life, and we just in a different place. So I literally went to Jersey for a couple hours, cooked on the grill for him, just to say hello. Let him know I thought about him, and I know that he's thoughtful, and I just it's the small things. He's not necessarily a person that needs anything. He just likes to see the gestures of sacrifice, thoughtfulness, and things of that nature. So I did whatever I could, man, to make sure that he felt that. But it was cool. I'm happy I did that. I just want to say that during these times, like especially as I get older, I start to recognize the importance of him being in my life and who he is as a man and who he was for me. So I just try to like acknowledge him in all cylinders of life for him as much as I can when I get the opportunity to do so. So this year was cool, man. I was happy I was able to do that. It was kind of like I was happy to do that.
That's fire. First of all, your dad is always super cool, so that's where you get it from.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Same here. Like, I mean, I'm in California. My dad's in Jersey. We literally share like a 5-minute phone call. I think when I called him, he had a few drinks, and my dad don't drink at all, so it's easy to tell. It's like, oh yeah, he's enjoying himself. Because you get on the phone, man, like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, bro,
that's cool. Yeah.
Lower your tone.
Me and your dad bonded. Me and your dad bonded when he's in Cali.
Yeah,
on the balcony.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
That was cool.
That's fun. That's a funny story because my dad, obviously weed is not legal in Jersey and not recreationally at least. And so my dad touched down. I know that my dad smoked occasionally. So I'm like, you want me to go get you something from the dispensary? He was like acting all modest, like, maybe we can, if it's not out your way. I'm like, all right, I bet. So we went and grabbed some, and then he know that I don't smoke, so he was like, like, should I smoke? Should I go on the balcony? And then when Kev came through, only they locked eyes and like, yeah, it's on. So Kev and my dad went to the balcony and blew one down. So as soon as my dad seen me, when he came back in, he was like, my fault, kid. We got to go back outside for all the cops. He don't like the weed smoke in his house. So it's like I had to be my dad's dad for a quick second, which is cool.
Man.
But yeah, my dad is chilling. He kicking it. We talk 2, 3, 4 times a week. But when I look back, going back to Cleveland and the gifts, there was never a lot of pressure to get my dad like a fire gift. But your mom, no. They got commercials. They got cards. They got candy. They got flowers. We just give our dad some dap. Why? Why they do y'all like this?
Great question,
man. Society made it that way. First of all, even the sales is weak on Father's Day. It'd be like 10% off. It'd be like 35% off, buy 7 things. Dads be like, buy 7 and you might get 1 free. I don't even know him like that. Like,
so selected items only.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Right.
But music too. Like, think about all the mom songs.
Oh,
Papa was a Rolling Stone. That's what we get. Like,
and that means Dad wasn't there. That's what that means.
Exactly. I mean,
he was tricking.
I wasn't. I mean, Dance with My Father a little weird to me, but like, all right, it's cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. I don't know why that. I guess because you know what it is. It's the women. They birth the child, so it's more important. The stress, the pain, the process. So I guess it's to appreciate more of what they're going through. But sometimes personally, as somebody who is not a father, I would appreciate if Black fathers got more appreciation. You know what I mean? Like, we got to start a campaign for y'all because it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Cleveland, I'm not sure how you felt about the drawing, but I'm sure you want a little more.
So here's the thing. It's like, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Because KV just mentioned, like, yeah, my pop not the type that really want anything. My dad is literally the same way. Like,
or are we conditioned to not want things?
No, that exactly. It's like, what's first? Like, do dads really just don't want nothing, or like,
nah,
dads not getting anything.
So they just not getting it, so they just don't expect it.
Got me, Var. You know, this got me feeling like my man from Classic. Like, yo, when you want to play my frog?
Give Dad's attention campaign.
Yeah, I agree.
Black
man.
Fathers Matter. I feel you, Zo.
There is like a campaign on Instagram, Dope Dads. It's like
that's he started by Anoop too. That started by Anoop too. Yeah. Sean Farrell up in New York. But yeah, like, you know what's interesting? We got a lot to say about a whole lot of shit. It's two dads on this podcast right now, and y'all don't have no idea why y'all not appreciate it.
I have no clue.
Well, I will say this. In defense, I will say this. The last 2 years, I would say my wife has held it down for Mother's Day. See, I'm brainwashed. For
Conditioning.
Like, I ain't gonna hold you. She went hard this year. Maybe it was the stimulus money. I don't know. But I appreciate it. Don't get it twisted. She got me my podcast mic. She got me my lighting for the laptop, and she even got me the
Kim got you that light.
Oh, here you go. Anyway, not the genetic light, the manufacturer. But then yo, I don't know if you ever seen this, but there's these Bose sunglasses that actually Bluetooth. Like, you could talk on the phone and you could
shades.
They're regular sunglasses and they're in the ear part. You could charge it and then you take it off.
That's some Inspector Gadget shit.
Nah, them joints official, bro. I was like, oh, it's not they Bose, so you know the sound is good, but
stop trying to silence black women, Zo.
Nah, son, she like, I'm about to go get him. Like, but yeah, like, I will say this year I didn't get the macaroni tie, but
that's cool.
You might have burnt out. Maybe next year I'll get it.
So like the thing is
bring her on, Zo.
He might as well. But
bring her on.
The thing is that I think fathers aren't getting what they want because we're modest. It's like we were brought up to lead, provide, and not receive. You know, that wasn't part of the package, right? So it's just like when you get anything, you're just appreciative of the idea. I think what we need to do as men and fathers moving forward, I think make Father's Day a big deal, right? Take ownership in that and say, you know, not expect it, but show what you would like, and kind of like groom that idea and make it a bigger deal, especially in the Black community. Though I think it's important for us to like acknowledge like all the Black fathers, all and kind of move forward in that direction. But
Ava,
I want to add to what you were saying. Is you right? We were trained to almost like, how do you say, like protect and serve, or protect and provide. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what if we're providing and that's our job? Then like, what do the providers get? Because you're still providing. Like, at what point? Yeah, I'm saying, like, that's what we're supposed to do.
They get paid administrative leave. That's what they get.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
I do think that fathers get more respected and have more value the older you get. Like, the older you get and the more responsibility you have, you understand like what your father had to do. And it like
to maintain that. Yeah, for sure.
Like, I think about like my pop, and it's like, now that, you know, I'm the age that I am and I have a 13-year-old daughter, I'm like, yo, my dad is super mild-mannered, could talk through anything with my sister. And sometimes I'm like struggling with conversation with my daughter because we speak different languages, you know what I mean? So like, I really respect that and admire that now. I just hope that it's not like, no, you're right, I think we need to take more ownership. I don't want it to be like, I appreciate you in hindsight. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want somebody out of here and I'm like, yo, he was dope. Like, I want to acknowledge his dope. Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
Have y'all gotten a chance to see the Will Smith Father's Day episode of Red Table Talk?
I did not, but I saw the preview, but I didn't really hear it. It was just like passing by.
I highly, highly suggest that y'all give that a shot. I don't have the exact quotes, but towards the end of the episode, he mentioned how it's important for the mothers to make space for the fathers to kind of do their job. And he said that there is no path to great fatherhood without the mother buying in. Like, so like the mom is a gateway to to a good father. And I was like, that's interesting perspective. And he said what you said, Cleveland, earlier. You had them. You birthed them. Like, you are the person who, they were in your body, and essentially they're yours. Right. But when the dad wants to make the connection, he wants to kind of make sure that he's important. If the mom does not want that, then that shit will not happen.
Well, Kev said that earlier too.
Oh yeah.
Kev was like, "Yo, when they start turning, you already know where the culprit is."
Right. Start planting them seeds. It's like, that sound like your mother.
Especially if the dynamics in the relationship is sour, right? And yes, I don't know too much, but my thing is like, when the dynamics is sour, most cases you have the unresolved issue of, me and my dad don't get along, because most cases the mother and the father wasn't getting along. Mm-hmm. And that trickles down to the sibling or the seed, and trickles down to the kids, unfortunately. So I would just say, it's imperative that this is a thing, right, about parenting. And I don't want to get off track, because this is kind of an interesting topic right now, because it's getting kind of interesting. But parenting is a two-way street. And ironically, no one knows what they're doing. We're just all learning instinct every day. Yeah, we're all learning, So trust the judgment. Trust the fact that you chose me to be your partner. Trust the fact that it may not look or sound right in the beginning, but just trust the process. Like, allow it to play out. Let it play out. And we could talk about that behind the scenes later, but let me grow in this wrong. Let me grow in what I'm trying to do. And if it doesn't work, let me grow in trying to develop that at some point. But I find too many times where, especially new parents, are trying to, like, someone thinks they know more than the other. Oh, right. You don't know, you know just as much as I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no manual, there's no blueprint, and the kid is human error. Like,
yeah. Let me hear from Zoe and Cleveland on what Kev said. Like, can y'all speak to that?
Yeah, man. So, like, I'll speak on my experience. So my experience is a little bit different. For me, parenting was not a two-way street. It was one street, and it was one parent. So, like, for me,
like a Philly street, real narrow.
Cleveland had a cul-de-sac. Like,
so, Cleve, I don't really know too much about, like, because I was your profile, I was your Neo, and I kind of would catch snippets of what you was going through personally in your relationship, but I didn't really understand from a big picture what was going on.
I can shed some light on it. So basically, from the time my daughter was 4, really like 3, to the time she was 10, I raised my daughter by myself. So my daughter lived with me for all of those years, and just me. And I had to figure it out, man. I had to figure out how to raise this little girl by myself. So for me, what I found is like,
you beat the courts.
And I beat the courts. Yeah. Thank God, man. But everything worked out. But like, for me, the hardest part of parenting was the balance, right? Because like, I couldn't just play like one role. Like, I had to try to like intentionally balance myself out. Like, whereas fathers, like, I don't want to speak for all fathers, but like most parents balance each other out. I'll say that. Like, so you might have one who's like a hothead, and you got another one who's calm. So that kind of like balances out. Like, you got one who has a lot to say, and you have another one who's more quiet. But like, for me, it's like I always struggle with like trying to be like, okay, I know that I'm naturally like this, but I know I have to be more like this so that she's more of a well-rounded person. So for me, being a father is just like, to Kev's point, it is about growing. Like, you don't know what you're doing right at first, and you learn as you go. And even in hindsight, I wish I had done some things differently, but I still have time to correct those things and do it better with the next set of years that I have.
Let me ask you a question, Cleveland. On when you were a single father, did you celebrate Mother's Day as well?
No, so I used to be tight about that. Here's the thing. Every single Father's Day, right? It's always the little joint where somebody say like, "Happy Father's Day" to me, because I'm a mother and a father. And I'm like, yo, I used to be both. I ain't never get no credit, no shout out. Like on Mother's Day, it ain't no like nobody talks about the absentee moms. Everybody talks about the absentee moms. It was a double standard, man.
All right, y'all. Mother's Day. The game ball is going to Cleveland.
He won that one. He got a. I'm gonna let that that mother's Father's Day. I'm gonna let that bounce out of bounds.
Nah, we're gonna let that thing go right out of bounds.
I don't want to get people upset because I do know how there are single moms. However,
and what's interesting about Cleveland getting the game ball is the fact that like he went to real court to fight for his daughter, which was easier for him than putting the basketball in the basket on the basketball court. So I just wanted to let that be known before we kind of transition because everybody else is a little easier on the other side.
Yeah. Let me add to it is it's a job that you can't call out, right? It's the only 24-hour job that exists, right? But like as you see, like each kid is different. So like which makes a whole different situation on how you raise them. Like Kev said, like there's no blueprint. Like we don't, you don't know. We think we know more than the other, and then you basing it off of how you was raised.
As she smacks you.
Yeah, as you see in the video, like this is clearly the one that does not listen. So
you see her face? Did you see her face?
Like, what?
Is that Amber or was that?
That's Ava.
Ava.
Ava's getting grown, bro.
Yo,
Ava's growing up fast, bro.
Yo, son, from the nose up, they look the same.
Are you killing me right now with that comment? That's kind of like
I'm talking about her. But not like it's just different. So like the parenting, it does help to have another person. The opposite, you got to play, as they say, no pun intended with today's words, but good cop, bad cop, or the hothead, the mellow, the person that, like I have two girls, so it's very difficult, but I'm probably usually the first person to say something. I don't go physical like I would if it was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And that's why you don't have none.
Exactly. The girl knew what he was doing. But, but surprisingly, sometimes my wife is more she get with them more than, which is good.
Yeah.
Right.
I can, but I don't want to psychologically wrong, and then they think it's okay for dudes to just be pouncing on them. Like,
I agree with that, and so one thing that I noticed that's important for fatherhood is what I've pinpointed with my dad and my sister. My sister never, not once, had to worry about confidence. To this day, I'm talking about since she could converse with my dad, he called her pretty girl every single day of her life to this day. So my sister is the most confident person that I had met for years. And it's like, where did she get this from? It's like, but it was ingrained. And like my dad was, to me, it was like it was like when I was majoring in psychology in college, I used to look at my sisters and my dad's relationship to like, damn, that is crazy how that's been ingrained in her. That positive reinforcement that she can do whatever she wants. She feels beautiful, she feels pretty, and she walks like it. And I think that's the importance of fathers and fatherhood, particularly for y'all two who have daughters. I think it's that presence and that positive reinforcement which tips the scale.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You kind of highlighted something that kind of resonated with me well, because my dad's relationship, me and my father's relationship was completely different from my father and my sister's relationship. And it's always have been, my sisters would get everything they wanted, however they wanted, whenever they wanted. And my dad would not give me the opportunity to feel like I can get comfortable and just coming in and asking for whatever it is that I wanted. And so, I think it's something to be said about like the dynamics of being a father for daughters and being a father for sons, and the role you play, even for mothers, like, because the role you play for your son is not the same role you play for your daughter. And so it's interesting you bring that up, because not because we're speaking on fatherhood itself, I think fathers play an integral part, especially in a Black community, in family, in structure, in women becoming women and men becoming men. You know what I mean? And it's just important, man. So it's so important to continue to highlight the importance of good fathers doing great things, because as a culture, man, you guys know I'm for the culture, so much so because I think we need to do a better job in highlighting things that's going to propel us to do great. So if being a father is one of those things, and let's continue to like overdo it. Father's Day, make sure let's OD on that. You know what I'm saying? Especially in our community.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And it's important. Go ahead, so.
My fault. Yeah, I want to add to that too, because I'm like Kev, like my sister, you know, she could be like, yo, Dad, let me can I just drive your car into the wall? He'd be like, all right, cool. I'd be like,
go ahead and express yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, we got insurance. Me, I'd be like, yo, can I get $20? What you need it for? What you do with your money? Why you? I'm like, dang, I gotta fill out an application.
Like my man, it's 20. That's all it is.
Yeah, like so I understand that, and I think that's part of like we were saying, Kev, like the training to be a provider. Like you can't be comfortable, because there's some point where you're gonna be in my role, and you have to know that you can't. So it is raising, and then with women is raising girls. Yeah, I'm gonna give you what you want, because a man should have to be better than my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? He should have to step up, and not that's about material things or finer things, but he should be willing to go the extra mile to make you happy. And that's what dads do for their daughters. You see what I'm saying? And moms is like the protector and of their boys. You know what I'm saying? Like I know for a fact.
Yeah, that's my mom.
Yeah, mom. Everybody know Cleveland is seen. Y'all both know. Like, it could get real if you say the wrong thing to your mom. Be like, what? Like, oh no, it's turn up time. Like, definitely the person you want on the battlefield. So I understand, kind of like both roles. But you know what's kind of crazy? It's like when anybody, well, not anybody, but when a lot of people are successful, right? The first thing they do is be like, yo, I want to obviously thank God. Think of like your MVP speeches, your awards ceremony, Grammys, whatever.
Our boy KD.
I want to thank God, and now I thank my moms, right? And then when like mind you, the dad be up there with him next to him.
or like when the camera pan to him, everybody say hi, mom. Like, damn, bro.
And the dad be
I drove you to practice.
Yo, but then the funny part, the dad be right next, and the camera move quick. Like, yo, get him out the screen. Like,
I drove you to practice. I mean, that's a whole nother scenario, though, that you just pinpointed, because sometimes like NCAA coaches will stray away from the kids that have dads. Because they know the mom will be more inclined to think about his future and will ignore all the bullshit that's happening, or that bullshit that's being
presented to them.
Yes, right. The dad.
Look how they demonize like LeVar Ball. Like, I know he's crazy wild stuff, but in retrospect, like, he knew what he was doing. He played y'all. He played the media for what they do. Like, the only real athlete I ever really heard like go hard for his pops is Shaq. Like, if you ever hear like Shaq,
and MJ.
Yeah, MJ too. MJ too. But
I mean,
he didn't speak.
Venus and Serena Williams, they fuck with their dad.
Well, yeah, they because he was like LeVar Ball before LeVar Ball. Like,
sure.
Yeah.
But they had to tell him, like, you got to fall back from the match because you're a bit much. Like, I can't.
He from Compton.
Yeah,
but when I think about it, Will Smith said something else that was pretty impactful. He said, what moms do is they protect their kid from the harm and from like the world, and the dad is trying to put you in as much pain without it affecting you. And I was like,
run through
that's tough. Yes. So when they're not there, you can, you know how to deal. And I was like, that's powerful.
Var,
in both sides,
your dad and your sister. I think what's so important there is like the power of a father's words in general. Like, even for men, even for male children. Like, for me, it's like, all right, it's like if your mom say like, you look nice today. Oh, you're so handsome. It's like, I mean, mom, what else?
Right, you're supposed to say that. Right.
But like when you walk in and you pee, your pop is like, oh, you look fresh. Look at you. That's my son right there. Look fresh. It's just different.
Yeah, it's like your shoulders
just build you up a little bit.
Yeah. You know, that's a fantastic point, because you just have those moments where you are trying to impress your dad. Your presence impresses your mom. Your presence impresses your mom.
Yeah.
Like,
right, you're here.
You know what? It's so crazy you say that because you can never do anything enough to please your father. Like your dad is not gonna be pleased. My dad specifically, I'll speak on him. Like he doesn't really feel pleased by so much. But you're right. Like my mother is just grateful that I came to the house just to be there, right? My dad is like, oh, I mean, you're here, so you might as well.
Get busy. You don't need to be cut.
I got some chicken marinated. You might as well throw that shit on the grill. Come on here and told us I cooked for my dad. No, that nigga made you cook.
Make yourself useful.
Yo, word up. Would you hold your weight around here? Like y'all don't even live here no more. But you're here now, ain't you?
I remember that. I remember we went to your parents from college on a Tuesday night. We came back just to pick something up. Your dad was like, "Oh yeah, it's your dish night." He was like, "Dad, I don't even live here no more. I'm not about to
watch dish night in college. I just came to get some.
We couldn't go back to college till he finished cleaning the kitchen."
Son.
Dads are important, man. And
100%.
Women are powerful. They're impactful. But what dads bring to the table is they bring structure, they bring obedience, they bring discipline, they bring fear. You know what I'm saying? They bring that idea of you don't run this world by yourself, and there's consequence for your action. And those things are important. You mean for Black men, for all people of color, but specifically Black men, because historically, and I hate to always bring this up, but we've been stripped of that identity. Mm-hmm. Because it's kind of always been a way to essentially prevent us from growing and becoming us, because they know the importance of having a father figure in your life. And they know that if we take that away, then this individual won't ever amount to too much. I mean, it's for the ones who've been able to amount to what they've been able to amount to. I give them so much credit being able to do what they did without a father figure in their household.
But it's rare. And like, you ever notice when the kid is bad, be like, oh, he must have had no dad.
Yes.
Must not have a father.
And I think tying back to last week, I think maybe we all had fathers in our lives. Thankfully, all of our fathers were there with us in the house, which is important. But I think the reason why we have so much respect for Black women is because we observed our fathers being a blessing to the women in their lives. Absolutely. So shout out to Black fathers, shout out to Cleveland, shout out to Alonzo. We appreciate y'all. Keep lighting the torch.
Right.
Whenever I have some kids, I'm gonna hit y'all up.
Hey man.
I'm gonna leave that alone, but go ahead.
It's anyway. So as we wrap up this episode, we're going to transition to Alonzo to give us a serenity prayer. Take it home, Zoe.
Take it home, my brother.
I'd like to say definitely, again, a happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Absolutely. Black or white, of course, and any other color. Just fathers in general make society go around. And I'm just glad that we, before I get to that, like, it's crazy because all five of us, like, we actually beat the odds, like, with having all of our dads. Like, our statistical rate is crazy. Like, if I want to know, I didn't do the research on it, but somebody got to tell me maybe next show, like, what's the statistics, like, 1 in every whatever Black fathers aren't in the home, right? And it got to be like 1 in 3 or something like that. So, which is crazy because that ain't us. Like,
right. But it's also more of us. It's Andy, it's Irv, it's Tariq. It's like we have a lot more where that came from,
Yeah, that's a fact. So, but I definitely want to shout that out. And going forward, like I said, I always do this. I want everyone going into the week that may bring you some trials, some tribulations, any type of mountains to climb. You always want to remember to say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
Absolutely.
And with that, thank you for listening to another episode of the Juxtaposition Podcast. See y'all next week.